Episode 600. San Lulan was completely surrounded. Everywhere he looked, there were only after images. Where was the real troubling rain? But he had no time to figure that out. At this point, he could only rely on instinct. San Lulan leaped forward, convinced that the real body had circled behind him. San Lulan leaped, spinning 180 degrees midair, only to find the sword light already flashing before his eyes. Troubling rain was just too fast. San Lulan leaped forward and spun midair, hoping to counter with a reverse collapse mountain strike, but he never expected the attack to come so quickly. If he went through with the collapse mountain now, it would definitely be too slow and get interrupted.
San Lulan immediately executed a clean block. The blades clashed with a sharp ring, and the strike was deflected cleanly away.
Blocked it, huh? Not bad at all. But I haven't even gone all out yet. Watch yourself, buddy.
Huang Shaotian kept talking, but that guy always said one thing and did another. His attacks never stopped. The moment he said watch out, he'd already carved a path with 3 slashes and was right in front of San Lulan. San Lulan rolled aside, barely dodging. He scrambled to his feet and looked ahead. His opponent had vanished again.
Above you!
When he heard that shout, San Lulan looked up, and the sword tip was already an inch from his forehead. San Lulan was in tears. He finally understood. That guy wasn't warning him about something on his head. He was just talking. A top-tier opportunist like Huang Shaotian wouldn't stop at just one hit. He followed up with a relentless chain of combos. San Lulan watched the combo counter skyrocket, his anxiety mounting with every hit. But the more anxious he grew, the more his rhythm slipped away. Combos in Glory aren't enforced by the system. They rely entirely on both players' execution. So in theory, no single move is truly unbreakable. But at this moment, San Lulan could clearly see each incoming strike and had a solid idea of how to counter them. But in all the chaos, his hands just couldn't keep up with his head. And on top of that, Huang Shaotian kept rattling off his skill names without pause, leaving San Lulan completely disoriented. And then it finally clicked for San Lulan. After listening to Huang Shaotian call out his skills and scrambling to counter, he made one huge mistake and suddenly realized the truth. The skills he shouted out and the ones he actually used were completely out of sync. Sometimes the names didn't even match up. This guy talks one game and plays a completely different one.
Shaotian, take it easy. Don't bully the newbie like that.
Someone in the crowd sent a message.
Hey, Shaotian's been quiet today. Where's your usual barrage of text bubbles?
Another voice called out.
The arena in the game. Can we disable voice chat?
Someone else chimed in, so someone checked the room settings. After looking it over, they grimly broke the news to everyone.
No voice ban. How tragic.
Everyone offered San Lulan their sincere moment of silence. The match had progressed to the point where they no longer cared much about who won or lost. From what they could see, Huang Shaotian had seized the initiative the moment he stepped in, and this San Lulan had yet to show any real skill. Of course, his initial quick reactions were decent enough, but if you can't even manage that much and still claim you want to play in the Pro League, that's just too childish. In contrast, Xiao Bei and his group were watching with sweaty palms. San Lulan was the strongest among them, and now Huang Shaotian had him so turned around he couldn't find north. After getting wrecked by Yi Shu last time, the lot of them had gained a new understanding of themselves. Facing a god-tier player, they no longer fantasized about beating him, but at the very least, they hoped to put up a fight, to not be the kind of pushover you could brush aside with a flick of the wrist. But looking at this fight, you still have a long way to go before you're not cannon fodder. Thinking about it, a few of them felt their spirits sink. Just then, a crisp dragon's cry rang out across the arena. A graceful sword circle bloomed around Troubling Rain, and San Lulan was sent flying.
An opportunity.
They all thought the same thing. This knockback had sent him flying too far. It was the perfect chance to steady themselves and reset.
San Lulan had indeed managed it. He stabilized his stance and steadied his view. But the others couldn't muster any joy, because they realized that Huang Shaotian's troubling reign had never pursued to attack. This meant that the sword circle had been a deliberate mercy, meant only to knock Zan Lulan away.
What do you think, buddy?
Huang Shaotian asked.
You're so loud.
Zan Lulan wasn't trying to disrespect the pro. It's just that this overwhelming feeling had to come out, especially when the question was put to him directly.
Chi Yi Chu left you here just so I could crush your confidence? Are you two in on this together?
Zan Lulan's heart tightened. Lord Grimm was indeed Ye Chu. He'd already believed it before, but having another top-tier pro confirm it only solidified the truth. Then a bunch of pro players suddenly popped up, and of course that was tied to Yi Chu too. What exactly does Yi Chu plan to do? Honestly, Zan Lulan was practically dead from Huang Shaotian's relentless attacks, yet he still couldn't pull himself out of the shock of seeing this lineup of sharp characters for the first time. Throughout the entire match, his focus had been completely scattered. No matter how many times he reminded himself to concentrate, his thoughts just wouldn't obey. They kept drifting back to those people.
What are these people even here for?
At last, Zan Lulan's shock had found a focal point.
God, what are you doing?
Zan Lulan didn't bother to think about it. He simply sent a message to Lord Grimm to ask.
Pretty free, huh? Got time to chat.
Yi Chu replied.
A rare opportunity like this. Don't let your mind wander.
Ah, you specifically brought these people here to PK us?
Ahem. No.
Yi Shu had to clear up that misunderstanding.
Huang Shaoqing came to find me. The others just tagged along to watch. Since the opportunity's rare, I figured I'd let you all get some practice in too.
Can I fight all of them?
Even if it was just a side job, Zan Lulan was still pretty excited.
That depends on whether they're willing. Better put on a good show.
Good performance? Zan Lulan was absolutely kicking himself. His health was down to a fifth, and he still hadn't managed to land a single hit on Huang Shaotian's troubling reign. Such a clumsy performance. It was the very picture of a helpless rookie. Was his skill so wildly at odds with the hype in the promotional material, about to be exposed to the entire pro scene this quickly?
Why aren't you saying anything? What are you standing there for? You're no match for me. Send Yi Chu down.
While he was still lost in thought, Huang Shaotian muttered under his breath.